High Fight IQ, presented by Expanse Energy.
You know, like your career is a very important thing. It's it's something that sustains your life. It's you've got to focus on it or you won't be successful. You have to. It has to matter. It has to be a priority. Sometimes it takes precedence. A lot of times you sacrifice a lot for it. But at the end of the day, you work to live. You don't live to work.
Right.
And martial arts is the same thing. You know, you train martial arts to better your life, not to run it.
Right. Yeah. Have your entire schedule dictated by what fight's on, what's up next,
You know, martial arts is supposed to, give you confidence and give you better physical abilities, give you better connection to your physical body. And all those things are vitally important. But, if you're never living life, if you spend all your days in the gym and nights, got to be some balance there.
Yeah. It's true.
And I think all of us, especially as competitors, when you're competing, your life is out of balance.
Yeah. I mean, you have to be selfish at that point too. Everything has to be about you and the competition.
Well, you commit it, to the competition, and when you commit to something, that you end up sacrificing other things. And that's important for success. And it's also important to lead by example. So when you're training a competitive team, you've got to show the same kind of commitment.
Right.
You can't just not go when you don't feel like it. Again, that's vital for success. Personally, I've gotten to a stage in my life where that's not where I'm at.
Yeah.
And so I still train. Martial arts is still part of my daily life. It's part of my mindset. It's ingrained in me. And that's another thing, that I've benefited from all of those sacrifices, all of that commitment, all of that time I've spent training. It doesn't go away, it's in me, it's who I am, Physically, it leaves very fast. And you'll, before you know it, if you don't have that balance and maintain some consistent level of training, your perception of your own skill set will suffer like civilians do, because they have no idea. See, as martial artists, you get a real impression of where you are. You get humbled on those mats, so you know what you're capable of, what you're not. You know what your limitations are.
It's exposed every day.
It brings you to reality. Yeah. That's real. You know the dangers that are out there. Normal people walking around don't. That's why they'll bark at you and willing to fight you, having no idea who you are. They will, scream obscenities and challenge you to fisticuffs without a second thought, not realizing they have no idea where to go from there. But and you don't want to be there. So I like having a realistic understanding of my physical abilities. Makes foolish conversations a lot less likely.
It's true. It's true.
Makes your inevitable embarrassment less likely.
Why do you think that is with casual people walking in with that mindset? They're, you said the civilians, and they walk into a gym and they expect that level that they feel that they're at. The movie in the head and the movie in real life are not on the same reel.
Right.
What do you think is the progression you have to take with those people? Because it used to be where they walk in, you're just going to beat them up.
Yeah.
And now it's kind of like, well,
luckily that's the era I'm from, and I never really had to progress past that. A lot of times, that's an effective method. I've forged some of my best students from that. Like the guy that you met that came in, to, Anthony. The first student I ever trained to fight, and literally when he came, he recalls it differently. But he came into my gym and more or less challenged me to a fight, and it was interesting. It was weird, being that he was like about 150 pounds, soaking wet, and I was much larger than that. And I owned a martial arts school. I've been fighting a long time. I accepted plenty of these challenges and didn't think anything of this one. And there wasn't anything particular. He didn't have a skill set to deal with what I put on him that day. But I did it in a way that it showed the superiority of what the training and this technique can do for you. My size advantage and my skill level allowed me to do that, to where I was able to prove a point to him without hurting him.
Right.
And exhausted him and gave him, no options, just completely defeated, and that helpless feeling that all of our instructors have put on us, that gets through to you, and you realize you don't want to feel that way, and there's nothing you can do to stop it at this point,
right?
But train, and that sells people. Now, how do you deal with people that come in? I'm not sure. I haven't had a whole lot of success with that. I've had some crazy people come in over the years. I've had guys tell me that they couldn't spar because they were afraid they'd kill somebody.
Okay.
With their deadly techniques. I've had guys come in and ask to practice forms and other things from other places, and watching the craziness that they do, it's but so people get in these paradigm paralysis. They get into these mindsets, and they've wasted or they've spent so much time training something, and they've bought into it. And you see it in the Bullshido videos. I mean, people get into this stuff
all the time,
and they believe it, and it's very apparently powerful psychosis occurs.
Well, they get into it. They believe it. Their instructor, whether they believe it or not, they're selling it, so they got to play along when their student's doing it.
Yeah.
Then all the other students believe it, and then their family says, "My son, my husband, my cousin's the black belt. He trains here. He can stop bullets."
Yep.
And then their family members send their kids there, and then it's just a never-ending cycle.
Very vicious cycle, and it's very widespread on a lot of different levels. I mean, there's huge criticism of arts like Taekwondo. Now, I know some Taekwondo practitioners that are very skilled kickers. They understand the other limitations of the art, and they filled in the gaps with other arts, which is the evolution of MMA. And all arts have their limitations. You could make the same criticism out of any
for sure. People talk about jiu-jitsu. Well, you're on the ground. If somebody walks up and comes and stomps your head, I get it, for sure.
Man, in 1991, I was in New Jersey and walked into Craig Cook and Henzo Gracie's school and saw a bunch of guys rolling around on the ground in pajamas. And I was like, oh, hell no. I'll never do this. If I'm on the ground, I'm dead already. That was my mindset. As a striker, I just saw no use in being on your back. I thought, honestly, if I was ever put on my back, I'm dead anyway. I don't need that.
Yeah.
And that was a paradigm paralysis. I would suffer from the exact same thing. It was years later when I became more competitive in a broader skill set. In Sanchao and where they allowed takedowns, you had to address it. I didn't realize how vulnerable I was to takedowns until someone tried to take me down while I was striking them. You don't think when you just strike and no one's ever trying to take you down, You don't realize that it's pretty easy to trip somebody. It's pretty easy to catch somebody's kick and sweep their other leg out when that's what they're trying to do. So yeah, I think the evolution of skill sets in competition has opened people's eyes to the limitations of martial arts. But it's also garnered so many more fans and so many more armchair quarterbacks. You have these people who they use the nomenclature. They'll understand the terminology somewhat. They use it out of context.
Yeah.
But they're speaking the language.
They're screaming while the fight's going on. Elbows, elbows. Well, it's an amateur show. They can't throw elbows, or he's not in a position to do it. It's horrible. It's not. But the problem with that is those same people. You see those people in the corner, and you see those people in the gym helping.
Yeah, that's horrifying. And that's something I think all athletics deal with, where you have parent coaches, you have fans, exuberant fans that want to give their advice because they know how it's done, and people that start gyms because they're in love with the sport,
right?
But just not qualified to be instructors. I don't think there's anywhere that you can go and get involved in a sport or seek instruction from someone who's never competed it at a reasonably high level in that sport. So I can't imagine that schools like that would be successful.
But they are.
They exist.
Something's working.
Yeah. Well, and that's a phenomenon. Look at. Yeah, I guess what the hell do I know? They've got 9-round boxing gyms or whatever they call those things, and the videos of these people, the trainers, they got some guy, Samurai Sam or some shit like that. Oh my God, it's horrendous. It hurts to watch. The guy's going to hurt himself. He's going to hurt his client. And if they think that any of that is like applicable in any kind of combative situation, you're just fooling yourself. It's just delusional. And if it's not, then what are you doing? Why? Just go ride a bike or something. If you're...
It's that hard up for cardio.
If you're gonna... Okay, so like if you want... I don't understand why you have to make it look like something else. Like, people don't do that with archery. You don't have to...
You'd put somebody's eye out.
Bows and shit, It's the same kind of thing, I don't get it. You can't get kickboxing flavor cardio. I see it all the time. A person will remain nameless told me, yeah, I do yoga twice a week, I kickbox twice a week, I do this twice a week. I don't know about yoga because I'm not a yoga guy, but you can't kickbox twice a week. Not like and learn anything.
No.
Like you can
go in there and you're sweating.
You go hit a bag and shadow box twice a week or something like that, but I don't know how you're gonna progress and really and when you say something like that and like, oh yeah, kickbox twice a week, you don't know what kickboxing is. It says you don't know what kickboxing is. You don't understand. The totality of it. So I don't remark when I hear things like that. It's just kind of...
You pass that at this point.
Yeah.
How do you reconcile with? It's similar. How do you reconcile that when you've got these people that they say, I teach a Muay Thai class. It's cardio kickboxing, and is that on them to be sure to let people know, hey, this? I know it says Muay Thai on my flyer. I know it says kickboxing, but yes, I'm only teaching you guys cardio kickboxing. Is it on them or is it on the student to know what they're doing?
I'm a libertarian. Buyer beware. If you're going to buy snake oil, it's on you.
Yeah.
There's too much bullshit available out there to claim naivety. To say, oh, I had no idea that they could have called it something and it wasn't. If you do any amount of research at all, you'll find a credible instructor. The only way you wind up at some place like that under the delusion that it's real martial arts or, is you're kidding yourself, you know, or you put you're lazy and you put no effort into finding a real instructor. And I don't understand that, you know. Martial arts from its inception for me has been like an adventure, and I always wanted to find the secret, you know, out there. You wanted to find that, you know, you educated yourself on these subjects. You didn't just go, I'm going to go to a gym and pick a bunch of classes to take. Like, I'm going to go to yoga on Tuesday. I'm going to go to, you know, that's not how I do it, but I guess that's how they do it nowadays.
It's frustrating.
Yeah, it's driven me from the industry in a large part. Martial artists traditionally were held with reverence. Our training, you know, our skill set, being that it's vital to survival of our clans, of our, you know, it's not that anymore. You know, it is. There are certain branches within the military and law enforcement that still have that warrior culture. There are certain businesses that embrace those principles as well, and certain communities. But as a whole, we've lost a lot of that as society, and so.
Many thanks.